Today is Saturday, August 17th, 12:22 a.m. It is now time to, I briefly discussed this part right here in section 15, the sawtooth. And essentially, if I'm able to take section A and then go long, and section B go short, and repeat this on a stair-step downtrend, then I can have a long P&L curve like that. Or I could have perhaps maybe half the height of this P&L by essentially not taking the trade in cases where the market is trending down, and then only trading when the market is going up. And so I have to differentiate and distinguish what makes the trend to be in an incline, what tends to be flatline, what tends to be in a downtrend, and adjust myself to fit what the market is doing. So when I do that, then optimally speaking, I can go into this territory, take this stair-step kind of a stair-step. Actually, this is the P&L, but it closely relates to how the market conditions work, essentially, when the market is essentially doing this, when the market is doing this. So if I can figure out how to take advantage of this situation and then make a strategy to tackle it when I see this particular situation, then I can be ready to take the trade when that occurs. Okay? So then this section is going to brainstorm the idea of what I need to do to figure out how I can trade that particular situation. So now that I look at it, so it goes down like this, and then it will do a pullback, and then at a certain point, it's going to go back down again. And then when it gets back down again, it's going to do another pullback, and then it's going to go back down again. And then, as soon as it does that, it goes back and then pulls back right here. Okay, just like that. That is how the movements work. Now, so in this situation here, in this situation right there, okay? So when I look at this situation at this moment right here, okay? So when I look at that situation, this essentially is the trend right here. The trend is moving in this direction, just like that. That's how the trend is. That's the trend right there. Okay. So how do I identify this? Because I don't know what happens here to get this point here, okay, to here to get to here, and there's a shift that occurs at that moment to get to that point, right? So market does this, and then, well, so I get to this point right here to get this point right there. So it's possible what it did was it went up, did a pullback, it went up, pull back, and then it went up, and then ultimately it changed course and then started to come back down. So that would be the point where the market changed, performed a major trend reversal right here. So I would say that is a major trend reversal right here. MTR, major trend reversal, okay? So that's the location where major trend reversal occurred, so that it performs this like that, like that. And I suppose there would be like a double top or triple top or whatever the situation is that caused this to occur. So now it's down, going down. So what I'm attempting to do is, if this is a range where I could be trading for a long swing trade, long trade. So there's going to be a trade. There's going to be three types of trades that can occur. Okay, so the first type of trading three types. The first is long, actually a prolonged downtrend trade based on the initial point of major trend reversal. So that would be one right there. The second trade that I can do is essentially looking at the range where the downtrend, the first leg of the downtrend, trading the leg of the downtrend in between pullbacks. Okay, so that would be, this would be region 1 right there, which is essentially, so that would be region 1 right there. Okay, so this would be region 2 right there, which is essentially, if I look at this, so if I look, so that would be 2, type 2. Okay, so that would be type 2 right there. And type 3 would be this region right there. So that would be type 3. Type 3 would be a trading the pullback. Now, trading the pullback in a downtrend can be very hazardous, as in losing big with big stop loss. Okay, so the idea is to, so then the idea is to, identify if that type 3 trade can be turned into a MTR. Okay, that's what I'm fishing for. That's what I'm looking for. That can happen. Now, ideally speaking, so what happens is, that's the idea. So if I look here, so it could go sideways here and then pull up like that, and like that, doing a higher high and moving up just like that. Okay, so that creates another trend, and the idea is to to see if, when I enter into the market, before it reveals itself of the next leg that forms, whether this is actually this area right here. And so I have to identify specific criteria of this range to understand how to trade this area properly right here. Okay, that's the main idea. All right. So that's the second part that I need to figure out, because it moves in this manner all the time. Whether whether the market whether the market does this or does this or does this, whatever it is, or this, it happens every day. That's essentially that's how it works. That's how it works. So what I want to do is put what I want to do is box it line. No shadow. Reflection glow. Soft edge. Oh, that's what it does. Okay, so what I'm looking to is see if there's this box can fit in. Okay. Lock, move button. I want shadow, reflection, or glow. Format, rotation, no. Fill. What is this? Oh, no fill. Oh, that's not what I want. Joint type, miter. Anyway, okay, so I suppose what I can do is put it into a box of, put it inside a box. Okay, I'll put it in a box. Okay, just put it in a box. So the market can do this, all right? It can do that. Now the idea is to, so the main point of the idea is to trade in these zones. So let's delete this guy and copy and paste here. And, oh, okay, let's cut that. Insert. So what I want to do is do this and then tilt it just like that. And for my shape, so that's going to be this guy, no fill right there, and make it 1.25 right there. So that would be region 2 here. And so there would be like 4 types of trading, essentially. That's what's happening within this. This is a typical description of how how it moves. Okay, this is what I've learned to trade. So the other section is essentially right here, right there. Okay. So there's four areas that I can concentrate on. 1, 2, 3, and 4, essentially. The 4 areas where this is going to go to look for a major trend reversal. I'm looking for a major trend reversal that occurs here, just like that, right? So that's what I'm looking for, to ride it up like this, as is the same with this. This is also looking into a different trading range that I can be looking for and trading accordingly. So this section is going to specifically fix the deficiency in my trading where I am successful when I'm trading this, but I'm not successful when I'm trading this. So how do I remedy this situation in this case? So what I typically do is, so I have to substantiate the credibility of going to trade this area here in a couple different scenarios. Meaning, so this is type 1, that's type 4. This is going to be type 4. Major trend reversal to the upside. It's essentially a repeat, isn't it? Major trend reverses to the upside, prolonged downtrend. So it's very similar to what's going on there. It's essentially, this is the same thing as that. Seeing something with similar characteristics, but it's going to be identified as something different. This is a critical juncture in my career. I'm going to think about how I'm going to trade this type of situation in order to practice it in the 3 remaining accounts that I have until the next paycheck that I get. Okay? The next paycheck. Ugh. Washing dishes. Thank God I'm still employed. So I'm looking at the situation where trading the stair step downtrending chart. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking to take advantage of and make this critical correction in my trading. I have to make this critical correction in my trading starting today. Otherwise, this is going to keep going. It's going to fester and it's going to delay me for another year. It's going to delay. I'm up, I'm down. Sometimes I would pass phase 1 and I would lose. So this is going to move in the right direction. Okay. This fourth thought is going to help me move into the right direction. There are other types of trades that I can do, like parabolic move kind of a trading that is like really tempting, but it's really dangerous because, I mean, what usually happens is when I look at it, I mean, it could just go from it could just essentially what will happen is that what will happen is, I mean, it'll do this and then it'll just go boom. It'll pull back, boom. And then sometimes it'll pull back, boom, or sometimes it's going to go boom, pull back, and then just like this. So I got to be careful with the way that I trade this area right there, right? That's another area of interest that I can trade. I can figure out how to trade that. That's another area of expertise that I can gain, right? But generally speaking, this is what I see in a lot of the cases where it moves that way. And the third scenario, so I'm not sure how this came into context. Oh, okay. So this is a general way that it moves, right? It moves in this manner. General move. Now this is the parabolic move, okay, which has definite and clear parabolic up, parabolic down. There's also essentially there's also a range bound situation. Okay, so that's parabolic. There's third type, which is the range bound situation, right? So I'll just put it there. Range bound. Range bound would be, if I were to just complete this section here, range bound would be like that, move up, like that, move down, move back up, move down, move down, move down, move like that, move up, like that, just like that. That's essentially what a range bound situation is. That's a range bound. That's range bound. Okay. While I have this thought in my mind, might as well capture it right here. Range bound, okay? Range bound. And I can trade here, down here, trade up there like that, okay? But this is a focus of something that in a lot of the cases I would lose a lot of money. This is the case where I would lose a lot of money. This is the case where if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And sometimes I could get like 50-50 situations where what I would lose and I would make it back with a substantial amount of money. It would essentially equal to on an average day equal essentially. So it would be a par kind of a situation. When it's moving up, like in this situation, I could be ahead a big because I know how to trade that, right? So what is difficult? My entry would be at this point here, type 3 situation. And how could I make this? How could I engage it so that it's this to this? So when I make a trade, going in the same direction of the trend trade, downtrend trade, and a stair step trend. Okay, downtrend trade in a stair step trend, stair step downtrend. Okay, so where would the entry be? I suppose if I'm looking at here, I could get enter anywhere here. Enter in. So if I take a snapshot of what that is, essentially I am interested in this section here. Essentially, right there. Okay. So what I'm looking at are sections here, right here, which would be qualified as a support and resistance type of a trade from here to here. Okay. So that would be support and resistance type of trade here. And I would look at it here. And so I could be looking to make a trade based on here, making that trade. And then I could also be making a trade for this trade right there. Okay. So this is the area that I would be interested in. So what's happening is that when I enter, I'm looking for a particular signature that states, so this is the area 1 and this is the area 2 that I can be looking at. So when I look at this situation, I would not be, that would be third type of trade that I'll be looking at. Okay, so initial trend, pullback, and continuation here. So I would call this a continuation. So this would be a this area would be a pullback. This would be, this is the area where the initial trend trade. So that would be the initial entry point to get into that area. So if I were to elaborate how I would get in there, so if I look at this candle and I see that it creates a candle structure like if I look at this particular situation where it's doing this and it keeps doing it and it keeps doing it and it keeps doing it and it keeps doing it. So if I'm looking at if I'm looking at this, what would I do when I see this candle formation? Okay, what would I do in this situation? So I would get in. So I would get in just like here, just like that. Right here and right there. So that would be represented by this line right there. So I would get in to essentially get in anywhere here, I would think, right? But which candle, what section of the candle would I enter? Where would I enter into this range? And where would the stop loss be? That is the critical component. That is the critical area of interest that I have, essentially. So the entry point here would be, so if I look at this, that would be the initial trend trade. Okay, right there. That's the initial trend trade. So where do I enter? On what candle, and how would I look at these candles? Do I enter here? Do I wait for here? Am I looking for a particular candle? What am I looking for when I make this trade? What am I looking for? Okay, how do I enter this trade? So the entry point. Okay, that is representing this area right there. Okay, initial trend trade. And then I would look at this area, which is going to be the pullback trade, which has two ends, essentially. So that would be the entry point, and the exit point would be at a point where I would say that somehow, so it would be somewhere here, and I would see that candle essentially here, somewhere here, okay? And if I were to insert a line from here to here, and then describe that format as a this guy here, okay? So that's a continuation here. So as soon as I enter here, then I'm waiting for this candle to essentially tell me that there's going to be some sort of a reversal that occurs, okay? So when this reversal occurs, that informs me that it's time to exit the trade, right there. So that would be the entry point. The exit point would be probably at this point here, right there. Exit point right there. So that would be the exit. Okay, that would be the exit, which is essentially getting into that point right here to right there. Okay. to here, and then to this point where it's going to be right here. Right here. So that'll be the exit here, entry and exit. Okay. The stop loss is going to be looking for, essentially, I have to look for the support and resistance area. I'm looking at the support and resistance area. Support and resistance area is going to be telling me at which point to exit. Okay. Right here. So this is the point right there. That's going to be so that'll be the resistance area right there because it's coming off there. That's going to be the support area. So do I sell before it hits or do I sell after it hits? Okay, that's something that because this may or may not be the support. In this case, because it's downtrending, this may or may not be the resistance area. Now this is going to be, when it's downtrending there, it's going to be resistance. Oh, support. Okay, when it comes back here, it may or may not be. And so it could do that, or it could just continue, keep going down. Just like that. It could either do this or it could do that. So based on here, so what I would have to do is wait until here to make more sense. Okay, statistically speaking, I don't know whether the first level of is going to be, because I've lost quite a bit, but there is going to be some sort of support that's going to occur here. Whether it's going to be light or it's going to be heavy. So that's something that I can trade with. That's the first part of when I make the trade. And so when I look at, so I'm going to have to add something into here later on. There isn't a way to pause this recording. So that's how it's going to be. Okay. So this is the one type of trading that I will utilize when the market is going down. Okay. This is a new perspective that I'm looking at to program my mind to look at this specific instance to trade it the way that I should be trading. Okay, that's the initial breakpoint into trading the market the way that I want to market in a thought out manner to engage the market in a logical manner instead of allowing the subconscious to take over because I haven't thought about this or even consider it, and then I get into the trade and I make the trade without really thinking the right way of trading. And practice is going to help me make this trade work, okay? So what I can be doing, what I should be doing is if there is a pullback, then I need to be looking for a retrenchment to the downtrend. solidifying that the pullback was indeed a pullback and not a trend reversal. That is something that I need to consider, okay? So that would be the second type of trading that I would be looking for, okay? So this would be here. Okay, and then I would copy that and I would place it here. And then the second trade will be this one right there. Okay, so this will be the first type of trade. So if I were to draw an arrow from there to here, so it would be this right there, okay? And then the next one would be a description of this area. That would be right here, okay? So continuation trend. So what I would be looking for when I make this trade, and it's going to be, I'm going to be looking, see when I'm going long, so am I just talking about the trading the stair step downtrend, which this is actually allowing me to refresh how I trade the long trade. So this is going to help both ways. So when this happens, then what's going to happen is if I look here. Okay, so this is the point, and I get here, 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 and I get here. Okay, the idea is to, so if I look at here, it's doing this, and it's doing this, and then it's doing this, and 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 it's doing this. Okay. And then, so I would look at here, and I would be looking for something here. Okay. So essentially, that's what I'm looking for, which is very similar to what I'm looking at here, isn't it? But what I'm looking for is this is a initial entry where it already has started, because it already started creating this instance, so I can get in at any time, put a stop loss here to take advantage of the stop loss. Knowing that there will be a pullback sometime later, if this turns out to be this and I see it, then the stop loss is going to kick in and I should be exiting the trade. So here is the green candle, here is going to be the red candle. So I'm here like that, okay? So what I have to do is I'm looking for an entry. So the entry, I certainly don't want to be entering here, okay? I certainly don't want to do that because I'm not sure. Even if this red candle is there, I'm not sure either. I don't know. So I have to have a substantiation that it is continuing, and therefore most likely the candidate to entry would be either the second or the third candle to solidify that it is in a downtrend here. So it'll be either either the second or the third candle telling me to enter for a downtrend. And then I wait until at a point where here to exit. Right here, right there. Here at this point, right there. So that would be the way that I would trade this particular instance. Okay. So this is a trade here, and that's the trade. And what I've seen, if I flip this around, it essentially is what I consider to be a uptrending kind of a situation, right? So that's what I'm looking at. So this is a downtrending thing that I can be trading, and I can be looking out for this. I can be trading this, knowing that what I do, there's going to be a stop loss here. So the stop loss is going to be somewhere around here. So when I look at this, the stop loss is going to be right here, right there is going to be the stop loss. And then here would be take profit. Okay, right there. Okay, so that's the area where I would be looking at the stop loss and take profit right here. Stop loss, take profit, entry here, that's what I'd be doing. So when I look at here, I would look to this area as a stop loss right there, and then I would do right here as a take profit right there, take profit right there. If it continues, then I allow it to continue. Okay, take profit area. So this is foundationally speaking, this is how I'm going to trade. Foundationally speaking, this is how I'm going to trade it. It would be nice to trade it on a demo mode, but I mean, this is something that has been missing from my trading area of expertise, because I would always be afraid of the downtrend market, and I wouldn't know what to do when the market was downtrending, and I would like flub it, not knowing how to trade because I would be frightened. That's the reality. Now that I have a clear understanding of how to approach this, I have devised a entry point, exit point, the stop loss point, take profit area. Within each of these areas, then I can take advantage of it and then apply it into the market. I'm ready.